The conservatives' answer is that they have no answer. They are actually against abortion and in favor of traditional family, but they themselves have no idea how to live a modern life as a woman without giving up the positive achievements of emancipation. No woman in her right mind wants to go back to times when she had no education, no money of her own and no rights. But conservatism fails to address the question on how motherhood can be lived without the risk of poverty and with a good education and career. Let's ask the question, why does conservatism seem unattractive to a young generation of women? The answer is quite simple, because conservatives have failed to formulate their own positive vision of how women can live in the 21st century. Instead, the conservative camp and a lot of conservative MPs are also following the ideas of the left and believe that all it needs to do is to embrace the demands of left-wing feminism, and young women will then suddenly turn to conservatism. This is wrong for several reasons, and I would just like to mention 4 of these reasons. Number 1 is the left-wing feminism side also has no solution to this day, because it's still trying to liberate women only in the labor market. They want to free them from men, but also from children, so that in the end they lead the same gender-neutral and exchangeable life as men. But what is feminine about women now following male life paths? Left-wing feminism is not saving women, it is abolishing them, and the trans movement is the logical consequence of this. Second reason, the left-wing feminism has no solution for motherhood. Motherhood cannot be deconstructed. It cannot be divided 50-50 by women's quotas. But biology is very intolerant in these matters. The answer of the left is the right to abortion. The conservatives' answer is that they have no answer. They are actually against abortion and in favor of traditional family, but they themselves have no idea how to live a modern life as a woman without giving up the positive achievements of emancipation. No woman in her right mind wants to go back to times when she had no education, no money of her own and no rights. But conservatism fails to address the question on how motherhood can be lived without the risk of poverty and with a good education and career. The response of young women in this time is now that they don't get children anymore. And with the rise in employment, the birth rates go down. The third reason why what we have is not the solution. Left-wing feminism claims that you can have it all, a career and a family, and both at the same time. This is just wrong. But also, is it unfair to mothers? Because you can have a part-time job, but you cannot have part-time motherhood. Our society tells now young women that it is possible to do so. Years ago, you may remember Sheryl Sandberg urged us women just to lean in and implying that we should just make more of an effort and then we will succeed. Years ago, I remember the business magazine Bloomberg Weekly had the cover story titled, "Freeze your eggs, free your career." That's the answer of the modern society. So women are supposed to freeze their eggs in order to pursue a career and then pay a high price later to get artificial insemination at the age of 45 or older. This is not a solution, but this is cynicism. And the fourth reason, everything that is propagated today as emancipated women's life and feminist politics is nothing more than continued socialism and communism, and should be rejected as a solution for the future of women already for that reason only. I would like to read just 2 quotes to illustrate this. The idea that women belong to the labor market and children in daycare is not modern women's politics. It can already be found in Bukharin's ABC of Communism, an explanation of the program of the Russian Communist Party from 1920. On the question of women and children, it states in this book not only that society should educate children, and this is the right future model, but also that this is not necessary only for the educational reasons, but also for, I quote, social education brings enormous economic advantages. Hundreds, thousands, millions of mothers will be freed for production and for their own cultural development and through the realization of social education. They will be freed from the mind-numbing housework and the endless numbers of petty tasks associated with raising children at home. And the second quote is from 1976, from the French feminist icon Simone de Beauvoir. She incorporated this communist way of thinking into the feminist matrix in a radicalized form. And she demanded, and I quote her now, "No woman should have the right to stay at home to raise her children. Women should not have this choice, because if this choice exists, too many women will choose it." So these are only 4 reasons why the current political proposal for a modern and happy life as a woman does just not work out. They all follow the idea of men and women are interchangeable. It follows communism and social utopias. It denies motherhood as not only a legitimate but also a socially necessary and normal part of women's lives. And the whole thing leads to demographic decline. So why do almost all conservatives in politics still follow these ideas instead of finally defining their own proposals with confidence in public? In the year 2025, spending time on children and family means a career setback, financial risk, and poverty when you're old. Anyone who wants to know why conservative family images are not sexy for young women will find the answers here. We need to offer solutions. But one part of the truth is also women choose often still the easy way, because the bitter truth of women is also conservative women tend to start families. They don't go to politics. They don't start political careers or parties. Climbing up this hard way is easier on the left side. It's easier to go with the zeitgeist. It's easier to benefit from quotes or to skip competition with men. So on the right, reality bites harder, so young women tend at the moment to go the easy left-wing way. So being conservative means taking personal responsibility for your life and for your success. Women more often choose the easy path. They avoid competition and prefer a state that takes care of them instead of using their freedom. They switch from being raised by their fathers to being raised by the state. But in reality, they remain stuck in the state of paternalism because it's easier than taking personal responsibility.